How's it going, everybody? This is Martin Stokes here.
And this is Dean Scurry.
And I am a traveller.
And I'm a countryman.
Welcome to A Traveller
And a Countryman
podcast.
Are we getting recorded now at the moment? How do you do?
I'm doing good. Welcome.
That's correct, Martin. I thought you were going to go to the pub and not come up. So he ain't coming to myself. To be honest with you, lads, I feel kind of let down. And I feel that you lied to me. But I feel like you lied to me.
Well, we're talking about feelings already.
Yeah, because last time I was here, he told me I'm going to be working with Dean Martin, right? And then it turns out that it wasn't Dean Martin.
It was Dean and Martin.
Yeah. And so I assumed that I was going to be working with Dean Martin from the Rat Pack.
We were going to dig him up out of the grave and reinstate him.
That's what I thought was going to happen. And then I find out that it's Dean and Martin, so
It's some serious way your
I've
brain
been
works.
abused already.
Well, we can talk about that abuse on the podcast if you want. Martin
I
nearly
feel
fell
like
off his chair.
you've had their lying to me.
Martin fell off the chair.
I was expecting Mr. Dean Martin himself to walk in.
Do you know why he was named after Dean Martin?
Fucking depressed now. Working with two sausages. The countryman always tells lies. He's telling lies in the media. He's telling lies in the news. He's telling lies everywhere.
It's them that has the traveller's strike, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
We'll get to that, will we? We'll get to that.
we'll get to that fairly quick.
Did you hear the one this morning with, I sent it to you, didn't I? Some settled fella anyway, whoever he was, Genuine Dublin. He said, travelling a mini said, literally in different words, gets away with everything. You can rob and steal all around you and go to Lords and Meds and Glory and you're forgiven, everything is gone, you're cleared up completely.
Well, that's what a Catholic is, isn't it?
He was slagging like.
I don't know now if he was a Catholic, but that's what a Catholic is. And I suppose a Christian.
Well, let me practice the introduction, okay. So welcome to our 46th podcast. We have a special guest here, Davy Collins,
That's me.
and he's very welcome here today.
Well, my name is David Collins, or Davy Collins, or Jesse, whichever one you want to call
No,
me.
hold on. So give us them three again.
David Collins,
David Collins.
or Davy Collins,
Or Davy.
or Jesse.
Jesse's the nickname, yeah.
Jesse's the nickname,
the
yeah.
alter ego, is it?
No, it was given to me. I tell you how it was given to me. When I was younger, I was always singing Elvis. And you know Bulls Davy?
Yeah.
He's a cousin of mine.
Right.
And he said, we all know what Elvis looked like, but we don't know what his dead twin looked like. So I got the name Jesse.
You're Elvis's dead twin.
I'm Elvis's dead twin. They come back alive.
Good one.
So that's what happened. But then, it's about 4 years ago, I went down to an acting class with John Paul. He asked me down. And around that time, my father died. So I said, whatever opportunity comes my way, I'm just going to keep saying yeah to.
Oh, lovely.
So I'm not going to say no to nothing no more. So I'm just going to throw myself at everything. Because I see my father with loads of opportunities and he was doing them and then stopped doing them. So, very clever man he was. Very educated. It all came from himself. So I said, I'm just going to throw myself at everything. Now, when I went to the acting class, we made a film called John Boy. Tom is in it.
Right.
And I'm in it and John Paul is in it.
Who's John Paul?
English.
Oh, yeah, I don't know English. You know him.
Well, he's my cousin.
Right.
Right. And
You have to kind of start simple, like, I'm just at the arriving here in your world. You know everything about it. I don't.
Well, John Paul is my cousin. He asked me down to the arts class, or the acting class, yeah. So when I went down there for 2 or 3 weeks, they asked, is there any writers here? So no one answered. But then that night, I wrote a poem and I put it into the group that they made, the WhatsApp group. And then they said, oh, we have writers and all that. It was a poem, I forget what way the poem went. It was something got to do with mental health because the short film was about mental health.
So there's a short film that you were in called John Boy that Tom McDonough is the lead role in it.
Yeah, the John Boy trilogy.
Yeah.
There was 3 of them done. And when I put the poem in, they start calling me a poet. So I went along with it. Thought I'd get money from it.
That's a typical traveller thing. I'm not going to tell you what I am. You're going to tell me what I am,
No.
and then I'm going to charge you.
Well, I went along with it. there was a fella there called Ger Foley, and he put up music. So when he put up music, I wrote a kind of a short song to the start of his music. And then the next Thursday, when we were back down at the acting class, he asked me to come to his studio, homemade studio. So I said, I'm not going. So then he put more music up, and I wrote more songs to his music that he put up. So then he asked me, he told me that, come along, you have nothing to lose, you have nothing to do this. So right. So I went over and I recorded a song called The Taxman that I wrote, and The Manchester Jail that I wrote. And from that onwards, I just kept writing. They're calling me a poet, but I don't want to be a poet. I want to be a songwriter, basically. Then I got the idea of trying to bring traveller singers, because there's talent out there. The thing that kind of really pisses me off, the talent that's in the travellers is unbelievable. Singers, musicians, poets, writers, storytelling, boxers, and no one is doing anything with it. It's there waiting for someone to do something with, but no one is doing anything with it. Now, as I often said, if you put a traveller into the ring, he becomes king, right? If you put a traveller into an Irish folk band, you get the Furies. That's what I'm saying. If you put him on the X Factor, or put her on the X Factor, or any talent show, singing, they win. But then they just drift away. So the thing is about travellers themselves. Travellers are very, very judgmental. No one can do anything without anyone speaking bad about it. And when you think of that, you think of the travellers, because the suicide rate itself has gone through the roof. Some of that is down to the traveller culture itself. Because, as I said, there's the travellers themselves is judgmental. No one can do anything without anyone knowing. Because if I done something here that was wrong, the whole of Dublin knows about it. The whole of Navan knows about it. The whole of Waterford. Probably one or two down in Cork. The whole of Manchester knows about it. The whole of London knows about it. The whole of Oxford knows about it. So that's about 2,000 to 3,000, 4,000 people. And a traveller can't go anywhere. A traveller can't go anywhere in his own community then without being judged. And then a traveller can't leave his own community without the settled community judging him. So a traveller has nowhere to hide.
It's like they build their own prisons, isn't it?
That's
literally.
I tell you what,
Put themselves on lockdown
traveller
to a lot of
camp
things.
is. See, people keeps going on. There's certain people out there that keeps going on about the traveller culture. And when they talk about the traveller culture, they talk absolute bullshit about the tent, about the wagon, about the travelling, right? It's constant bullshit. That's what it is. I've never lived in a wagon. I've never lived in a tent. I only stayed in a tent when I was camping, but this is years ago, on a pilgrimage, the holy pilgrimages.
Do you not stop you from talking? Do you mean they're talking now here because it's only the young people that's talking like this? Obviously, the older travellers knows all about that.
The older travellers knows all about it.
They have lived
but
that life.
when they're trying to promote travellers,
the younger people are trying to promote them, but you're saying that they haven't got a clue. They don't even know what the history was.
they don't. Like, if you were to ask me, right? If you were to ask me now, what is the traveller culture? I haven't got a clue.
Well, it's gone. At the moment, it's gone. Not gone, but it's like, literally gone astray, kind of.
Everyone is a traveller. He travelled there, so he's a traveller himself.
Yeah.
I'm a traveller, you're a traveller. The travellers, the way they used to live, it doesn't exist no more. I don't know if you noticed it. As time goes on, there's 2 or 3 of the travelling traditions that we've held on to. They're getting married young. But that's starting to even drift away now.
That's right.
So there is. There's 25 and 26 and 30-year-olds still single today. And it's coming more and more. So that's starting to drift away. I told a few of me mates here the other day that when they do get married, they've nowhere to go. There's nowhere to move them. They're actually moving back in. They're getting married to move back into the room that they moved out of, that they're supposed to move out of. And they move back into a room. So what's the point of getting married? That's what I'm saying. Either she brings in her husband into her room, or he brings in her wife back into his room. So what's the point of getting married?
There's no places, there's no extra camps or halting sites, or is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like up in where Martin is, there's 30 bays, but there's 50, probably more families now.
There's more families. When I used to live in a halting site in Dunsink and that, there was always space for another trailer to move into the yard. But now, there's no space whatsoever. The building stopped getting done for the travellers, but it's also they're stopping for the settled people. Now, the settled people themselves puts their own livelihood under an awful lot of pressure because they can't afford a house. But that's not their fault. That's the government's fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, every government official is out there, 90% of them, they're all landlords. That's why the rent isn't getting put down. Now, you go into a bank, if you're a settled person, or even a traveller, and you're asked, can I get a mortgage? And they tell you no, because you can't afford it. But they expect you to pay $2,000 to $2,500 of rent. You can afford that. Some people can, but they can't afford a mortgage. So what's that then? It's jackanori, isn't it?
They're pouring honey in your ear, as I tell Martin, all the time.
But that, and people believes it. That's it.
Yeah.
They sweeten you up to make you fall back down again.
The business maths end of it is they're making more money off everybody paying high rents than they would if everybody had a mortgage. You know what I mean? Because the mortgage is probably half the price of the rent.
It's true if, as he said there, if most government officials are landlords, why would they change the rules?
Not.
Why would they bring the
over in
rents
Germany,
down?
the rent is capped. They won't do it in Ireland. It's like the toll bridges. Every other country in the world, the toll bridges took down once the road is paid for. The M50's up there since 96.
Yeah, it's paid 100 an hour.
That was it.
And in Germany, in Berlin, they done a thing where they had these compulsory purchase orders where the government forced the big property developers and landlords to sell them back the properties that they had made, that they were renting out at crazy prices because the homelessness was through the roof. But they don't have, the will is not here to do that. They don't have the balls here to do that.
What do you see as the biggest problem in the world right now?
Depends on what side of the bed you get up. You know, one day it might be there's a possibility of nuclear war because of the Russians and the Americans.
The countryman made that.
Yeah. But I think the way I see it is in this country there's poverty and classism and there's increased homelessness is affecting people's mental health. Because of that, there's a rise in drugs. So I think it's multi-layered, but I think it stems down to homelessness.
I think greed is one of the biggest problems at the moment in the world. And that's one of them.
I don't think it's greed or homelessness at all.
No.
What do you think?
I think the biggest problem that's in the world now, and it's everywhere, 95% of the people is willfully blind. And they keep looking away from problems that they know the government is causing. And they're blaming other people for it, who they're living with or who lives in the country with them, and not blaming the government.
Yeah,
not
so the finger is pointed at everyone else except for the people in power.
Except for the people that they know who's in power. And it's them that's causing the problems. Like, I cannot understand the government themselves. If they do something that you know that's totally obvious, they get a clap in the back for it. And they're plastered all over the newspapers. The Taoiseach of Ireland done this and the Taoiseach of Ireland done that.
Yeah, but what caused all the people to be like that, to feel like that in the first place? Obviously came from somewhere.
Divide and conquer.
As I said, greed,
divide and conquer. Because
ignorance, selfishness.
The way I look at it, if it's like the refugee, I cannot understand the word refugee for the life of me. Because they say refugee stands for a person that hasn't got a home. If you were up in space, you turn around and you look down at the world and you go, that's where I'm from. So just because you move to a different part of the world, you're still home because you live on the world. Just you're a different part. If you go upstairs in your house, are you a refugee upstairs? Do you know what I'm saying? Just because you've moved to a different part of it. Like, we're all from the world. You know what I'm saying? We all live on it. So just because I'm from Pakistan and I moved to America, that doesn't mean I'm not home. I am home, but I'm a different part of it. It's just divide and conquer. And that's what the rich does, and that's what the
So it
governments
reminds me
do.
of Oliver Anthony, his song. Do you know that song? He's an American country singer, and he has a song out now, and it's kind of after capturing the imagination of the whole world. And he's kind of saying that the greedy rich men are all in cahoots with each other, and are forcing us to fight with each other over stuff that we should have anyway, and we don't have it because they've taken it all for themselves.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, north of Richmond.
Well, he's telling the truth, because if you get a black billionaire and you get an Arab billionaire and you get an Englishman billionaire and an Irishman billionaire, a Yank, and you get
A traveller billionaire.
a traveller billionaire and put them all in the one room, do you think they're talking about racism?
Do you think they're fighting each
They
other?
aren't there, fuck.
They are no hoop.
They
They're
are
not,
in
they're,
there,
not,
fuck.
they're not fighting each other.
Do you think the traveller man is going to go, I'm a traveller? No, he ain't not.
But we're all out here fighting and pulling the eyes out of each other.
But that's the way they want it, because it distracts you from actually what they're doing.
It's very effective.
Just say the American president. The American president is a man who has dementia. He's sick. And if a sick man who has dementia can tell you what to do, he's a fool.
And you're a bigger fool.
You're a bigger fool, aren't you?
What's the phrase? If you don't believe in something, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah, like a conspiracy. Now, there's 3 or 4 conspiracies that are coming to pass that was true, but yet is a conspiracy. And the word conspiracy means a group of people getting together to do damage. That's the government, isn't it?
Come here, Joe Biden was here a few weeks ago, and every government minister, including Sinn Féin, ministers, TDs, the whole lot of them, they were all hanging on every word and everything he done. And they must have spent €50 million with the guards and all that, keeping them safe.
Yeah, because they're all lick arses, aren't they?
Was that moving the homeless off the street or what?
Oh, they moved the homeless out of the park and all. Yeah. Out of Phoenix Park, where the president lives.
See,
So was the homeless having a field
that's what
day?
pisses me off
They were
about
having
the
a field
Irish.
day in a field.
Yeah.
The Irish comes out protesting against the refugee. None of them came out to protest against the homeless. So that goes to show you the mentality of the Irish.
Or to stand in solidarity with the homeless.
Yeah, they won't do that. See, the Irish are hypocrites. And I'll tell you why the Irish are hypocrites.
Now, you're an Irishman, just so you know.
I don't care.
He's not talking about himself.
I'm,
He's talking about everyone else. He's ripping at everyone else.
the Irish are hypocrites. Because the very minute Ireland gets flushed down the toilet financially, all the Irish flees the country and goes out to other countries. You know what I'm
We
saying?
become the immigrants.
They become the immigrants, and just because they're Irish, they think they're accepted. But let a foreigner come to Ireland and they don't want them. And it's a handful of decades ago they not let the Irish, no work for the Irish, and Irish not allowed.
No blacks, no dogs, no
Yeah.
Irish, no travellers.
But you see, that was done to the Irish in America, and it was done all over the world to the Irish. No Irish
It was done
allowed.
to a lot of people.
And then when the Irish came back, they start doing it to the traveller. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
They
the
start
Irish,
looking for the weaker link.
the Irish, they like a good moan, don't they? but they won't do anything like they used to. Like if you think of the right heroes of Ireland and to look at them here today, I don't think the past heroes that was in Ireland would really care too much today about Ireland.
Who's them heroes?
What hero do you want? Who's your favourite Irish hero?
No, go on, you tell me.
Well, the likes of Michael Collins and De Valera and all them.
They'd be heroes for you, would they?
No, the Irish heroes. I never says my heroes.
Who'd
the
be
Irish
your heroes?
Who's my hero? Eric Cantona.
I think what he means, Dean, is it? I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I think what he means is that these were men that was proud of their country, am I right? And they'd be ashamed of it today with the things going on.
They would be ashamed of it today.
That phrase, they'd be rolling in their graves.
The one good thing is that but the one good thing now that's going to stand good for travellers, that'll be 100 years or a million years' time, is that travellers didn't run the country, so they can't be blamed for all the wrongs.
They didn't run it into the ground.
Yeah, but you see, if it was the traveller that put the country into recession in 2008, we'd all be arrested now.
Yeah,
so we
but
would.
the fact that it was the countryman that done it.
Yeah, just forget about sweep it under the carpet.
There's nothing about it.
Hold on. It was an Irishman that done it.
You countryman.
Countryman.
You're all the same though, laddie.
Would you consider yourself an Irishman?
Country fella, you a traveller.
Well, put it this way, right? The Irish, getting back to the hypocrites, this is how big of hypocrites they are.
I was not talking about you, Dean. Don't worry about it.
They were fighting against the English, right? The English was in Ireland. And at the same time that Ireland was blowing up England, they were over in England building it back up. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yet they hated the country. They hated the English.
The only good thing the Irish was doing when they were
went
over there.
over to work for the English pound that they hated. They hated the Queen, but yet they went over to get the pound off her.
At the same time, they were dodging the bombs that the Irish was throwing over.
Do you know what I'm saying? When England did leave the first time, they all come out and they still say today, the English Black and Tans was raping the women and they were killing this fella and they were killing that fella. So the English went. And then when the Irish was left on their own Todd, the Irish started doing it. But because it was the Irish that was doing it, it was all forgotten about. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the Irish was going into the traveller camps and taking the travelling children and bringing them in to the travelling or into the homes that they built to rape them, to abuse them, to bait them, to molest them, to whatever you want to do to them, to change their ways into the settled.
To assimilate them.
So the Irish, in my book, will always be a hypocrite.
I'm going to ask you a question. Are you an Irishman?
No.
Are you an Irishman, Martin?
Am I an Irishman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are. Hold on. Because it's an interesting point. Martin's saying he is an Irishman.
I am an Irishman. I was born in Ireland.
Were you born in Ireland?
I was born in England.
You were born in... Are you an Englishman?
I class myself as an Englishman. I came back here. When I was 7 or 8, and I still hold an English passport.
Do you have an Irish passport?
No.
When you go to America, are you home?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because I live in the world.
Because you live in the world.
Yeah.
So the passports and the borders and the identity and all that type of stuff is interesting on one level, but on another level, it's a load of bollocks.
That's all man-made, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean?
It's all man-made.
Well, we are men, or we are people. We are men and women.
The nationalities is just all bullshit, really, isn't it? When you think of it.
This podcast is called A Traveller and a Countryman. And at the start of it, I said, that's interesting to introduce ourselves. But after a while, those labels should just fall away. We're just people.
Look,
yeah, why could you not call this...
Now, you came up with half the name, so if you want to point your fingers, point 3 of them back at yourself there, brother.
Well, the way that I see
hold on. Martin wanted to say something. Go on.
I was only slagging. I was going to say, why did you not just call this the Two Men podcast?
The Dean Martin Show.
It had to be the Traveller. You had to highlight the Traveller, didn't you, Dean?
You actually wanted me to put the Traveller first.
What?
It was actually originally called the Countryman.
It is the Traveller and the Countryman. It's first.
What are you going to say?
The nationalities and all that. That's how you know it's a load of bullshit, really. Is because if you look at all the rights that's out there, there's black rights, there's travellers' rights, there's this right, there's that right.
Human rights, gay rights, prisoners' rights.
Well, the one that you said, human
and yet
rights.
There's no rights.
Right. It should human rights not just cover everything.
Trump everything.
Yeah.
You don't say
There's animals' rights.
Yeah, but
they can't cover humans.
Some people hate humans as well.
Oh yeah, but they're sick.
Your daddy passed away.
passed away about 4 years ago.
God bless them.
Can I ask how?
Lung cancer.
From smoking cigarettes?
Yeah, he was an awful smoker. Every time I seen him, he had one in his hand. Chain smoker, I'd class him as. But he'd tell you he wasn't.
Obviously he would. He loved them.
Oh, yeah. He used to call them me old friend. They're me friend.
Fags, yeah.
The fags, yeah. They're me old friend.
What age was he, can I ask?
54.
54. What age are you?
I'm 37.
So 4 years ago you would have been 33. Your daddy was 54. And he probably looked young enough still, did he?
He did up until... See, he was 5 foot. He was only 5'10" or 11. But the way he was built, he looked actually bigger. Because he was square-shouldered.
Like Martin Gorillaback.
Yeah, something like he shouldered, but he was square-shouldered altogether. They were like a ruler. And then he was made like a V. Broad at the shoulder and never narrow at the hip. Big man, but he wasn't a big man, but he actually looked bigger than what he was, all over the way he was built.
He carried it. He carried it well. And
he was well built now. He wasn't built like me at all.
You were built like a chip shop.
Yeah.
What was your daddy's name?
His name was John. Or Johnny Boy, as we call him. As the travellers call him. It was like a nickname, Johnny Boy, or John.
Where was he living?
He was living in Finglas there.
Tell us about him.
What do you want to know?
Well, I never met your daddy in my life, so introduce me to him.
Well, I'll tell you what he was. He was a very talented man. Every job that he done, he was the best at. He was a very educated man, but it was like self-taught. Because I don't think he hardly went to school. But he was self-taught. He was a very educated man, very smart man, and a very caring man. You know, he'd hardly shout. But if he did shout, you know, you were fucked, basically.
He let you know.
Oh, he let you know, yeah.
But he also let you know he loved you.
Yeah, but most of the time calm, but he'd freak out, yeah.
So did he love you?
I don't know, I suppose he did.
Did you love him?
I did, yeah.
The way you talk about your dad is really nice.
I don't know, I suppose.
Don't be getting all shy on me now.
I suppose.
Do you have fond memories of him?
Yeah. He was a bit of crack too. Like he wasn't all the time serious. And I think that's where the music, because he loved music. His Uncle Johnny loved music. His Uncle Michael loved music. His Uncle Patrick, I never met his Uncle Patrick. I seen his Uncle Patrick once or twice. But I never spoke to him. I seen him from a distance. And my father told me, that's my Uncle Patrick there. But he told me that his Uncle Patrick loved music. He was a DJ himself, my father. He had his own radio show.
Where was the radio?
The radio, he started off with a fella called Morris Hurley. Now, that was about 93 or 94. So where it was, I do not know.
In Ireland, though?
In Ireland, yeah.
Yeah, in Dublin, yeah.
Where he done it, I don't know. I can only remember that it was called Traveller Talk, the name of his show. One of his radio stations that he was in, I remember one of them used to be in Finglas Village, up near the library, because I was there one time with him. I remember he was either given an apprenticeship or something with RTE. And I remember asking him, because he was in it a couple of months. And I asked him, so why did you leave RTE? And he said, because they had no interest. He says, they'd bring me up, they'd show me a thing for about 20 minutes, half an hour. And then he said, I'd be sitting in the canteen till 4:30. No point going back, really, was it? Basically, they were showing them no interest.
Why do you think that was?
Because he was a traveller, wasn't he?
Did he feel excluded like he did?
I don't know. He just told me that they had no interest in him. He says they bring me in and showing him a few things on the mixing desk, and that was it. And then he said I'd be sitting there till about 4:30 in the evening in the canteen, drinking tea, or tea, as the countryman would call it.
Tea, cup of tea, please.
Was it a case where they were pretending to have an interest in them?
Probably they did. I don't even know how he got it. I don't know if it was an apprenticeship or a scholarship. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, but it reminds me what you said at the start was that, you know, occasionally some travellers put their head above the line and they go off and they get stardom or fame or success, but then they drift away. Your daddy could have been on a path to some kind of success, but what happens is, as much as he wanted to be there, he mightn't have been wanted to be there. Do you know what I mean? They mightn't have accepted him in fully.
That's the thing, because that's what he said.
But I think that's the case.
They never showed me any interest.
I think that's the case across the board for young fellas going off to do apprenticeships or traveller people looking for funding for A, B, C and D. Occasionally it is their own doing that they don't reach to success and they pull away themselves, but the wind is in their face as opposed to the wind being on their back.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It mightn't be a choice of pulling away because
exactly, yeah.
It's depending on how much they're pushed away. And as you say, if the wind is in their faces and they're going forward against this all the time, again, where are they going to? Because you sort of feel like I'm trying, but I'm getting nowhere. It's like people getting the door closed in their faces all the time. You just want to give up, don't you?
He did a bit of work with The Star. He was a journalist as well. He was a journalist for the Feedback magazine.
What was his full name?
John Collins. Do you know Sorry, Soccer Against Racism? Well, he was one of the fellas that started it off.
Do you have any nice pictures of him? Would you be able to send me a picture?
Oh, will you?
Yeah, we might use it to promote this and get people listening to it. Because I know you were excited to come along here today.
Yeah, because this is the stuff that he was doing. And this is the stuff... See, when he was doing... I can remember him... I can remember when we lived in Dunsink, he was either thinking about stopping it or whatever it was, but he says to me, mother, what do you want me to do? Keep interviewing myself. Because again, as I told you, the traveller women, I don't mind the traveller women coming on, but it's hard to get them on. It's hard to actually get a traveller woman in here to sit. Now, I'm not saying they won't do it, but it's hard to get them. And at that time, travellers were very isolated altogether. Because I'm going back to about 95. Travellers wouldn't speak at all. They were just like, oh, there's the camera. Put the code over my face. That's the way travellers are. And then YouTube come out and they all come on the scene calling names. They weren't shy then.
They all want to be famous then.
Yeah, it's bastard chat.
That was all the men though. It wasn't the women calling.
The women are starting to get involved now too lately, doing their own videos.
Are they?
Do you not see them? No.
Oh, I don't. Well, where would I be looking? I'd be going onto YouTube looking for traveller women fighting with each other.
Oh, you're going to do that now when you go home. You
I'd say half the world is now.
Yeah, they're up there, man. Jesus, yeah. I was never into that. I was never into the fist fighting. See, people think that every traveller fist fight, and every traveller. No, I never had a fist fight in my life. I don't intend to have one.
As the man says, you're a lover, not a fighter. You're a singer and a poet, a writer.
I never had any interest in it. Did you, man? I never had any interest.
I had a few fights and lost every one. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, everyone has a fight during their life, but I never trained for a fight. I never went out looking for a fight. They're saying I was a fighter. No,
I'm only joking. Seriously, in line of fights, never. Into fights.
It wouldn't interest me either.
No.
You have a couple of knocks and scrapes when you're a kid, but then at a certain point, you wise up, you cop on, and you realise, sure, one day could end a man's life.
No,
where's the good in it anyway?
There's some travellers out there that lives for it. Each to their own.
Well, there's some non-travellers live for it as well. Some of the biggest celebrities in the world are knocking lumps out of each other. Yeah,
but I was more into the football. I wanted to play for Man United, but it turned out I wanted to stay a traveller. Alex Ferguson asked me to play for him.
Hold on a minute.
And I told him, so I want to stay a traveller.
I'm probably better at being a traveller than I would be a footballer.
Yeah, but that's what I told him. So I want to stay a traveller, Sir Alex.
Sir Alex, and in the future, I won't know it, but when my daddy passes away, I'm going to become a writer.
Well, yeah, believe it or not. Probably. Hopefully, somewhere down along the line.
Well, you are. You're at the writing stuff, so you're a writer. And you've probably, the definition of being a writer is you have to get some stuff published. But sure, you have a song that you wrote that's up on YouTube.
Yeah, but I want to get more songs. I want to get all my songs done. But every time I go, there's always a stoppage. There's always something stopping it.
Now, I'm going to tell you to stop giving out, because we had chats about this before.
No, I'm not going to give out. I'm just saying, like, I want to do more, but there's always an issue, or there's always something stopping it.
As somebody who does stuff, who does stand-up comedy, who ran a record label, who produced music videos, who made documentaries, who done a podcast, there's always going to be problems. Get over yourself and get on with it.
I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you, that's how it is. You just have, everybody has the problems, and everyone who's working, especially if you're collaborating with other people, if nobody is making the decision, if you're not pulling your weight, if people are not turning up, if people are just being negative, you just have to bypass them and get on with it.
See, David, you just found you just have to find a manager there now for yourself.
As I said before, the only time you need a manager is when the stuff you're doing is unmanageable. You've got nothing to manage yet.
I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is, if it was me and just left to be, I'd be up and running 3 years ago.
Yeah, but the great thing about collaborating is that it's not just you. Like, I can't do this podcast on my own. I need someone to collaborate with. I need Martin to turn up, and he needs me to turn up. So we work together. So it's about finding people to work together with, no matter who they are. Go out and find them. If you want to do it, you'll make it happen.
He can keep giving out to, like. So that's what keeps him happy.
Is that what keeps you happy?
Go on, what were you going to say there? You have to just find a way to make it happen. If you really want to do it.
But see, what you're saying there, I'm trying to make it happen for 3 years. And it's not me.
There's people trying to make it happen for 30 years. You just have to keep on doing it.
What I'm saying to you is, it's not me that's stopping it. Because if it was left to me, I'd do it in the morning.
Well, I'm going to explain to you very simply, it is you that's stopping it, because you're hanging around with fellas who couldn't be arsed getting it done. And that's a decision that you made. You're hanging around with them. So what you need to do is make a decision to not hang around with them anymore and go and find fellas or young ones that'll do it with you.
Dean, talk like that is liable to break up his group, his band.
Oh, please, God. You're in a band, and it's called what? What's the group called?
The Controversial Kings.
And I told you earlier on, get rid of the Kings, get rid of the S, and just call yourself the Controversial King and get on.
Welcome to the Controversial Kings. This is the Controversial Kings podcast show.
You are the Controversial King.
Yeah. That's what the plan, to do something like this, to get travellers in, as I said, the traveller talent that I know is out there, to get them in to sing the songs. But they're asking 2 or 3 of them. 2 or 3 of them says yes, but they're not going to do it for free because they don't live in Dublin. They live down the country.
Sure, you don't need to be in Dublin to record something.
Huh?
Now with technology and all that, you don't need to be in the same place. They could be in their camper in their house.
They don't even know the song. That's what I'm saying.
So they need to learn the bleeding song first.
Yeah.
So these are singers who don't know the songs they're meant to be singing.
Yeah, but that's why, what we had planned for to bring them up for about 2 or 3 months, to keep paying them to come up, practice with them.
I tell you what, I don't know any songs. You can pay me not to come up as well. You're saying that these people are singers, but they don't know the songs.
But see, what we done was, we put in for funding. This is what the plan was. The funding that we were getting and that we were granted was for a year for to do this, for to keep bringing them up once a week, for to get them used to the song, and then you get a second batch of funding. You get the funding for to make a record or an album or whatever you want, but they granted us the funding, and the same day they took it back. That's what I'm saying. So we were on cloud 9. Everything is going cushy for us, and a half an hour later we were just back down to where we were. And that was there last June. So now we've had to decide to get things up and running. That was from June till now, and still nothing has happened. And I told them, so I'm starting to get fed up with it now. It's like, 'cause I'm finished off.
So here's from the countryman's perspective, right? Because we do this podcast, me and Martin, and you know who pays for it?
You do.
We do.
Yeah.
We just put our hands in our own pockets and we buy the equipment and we rock on, and we don't wait around for anybody. If you want to wait around for people and wait around for funding and play somebody else's game, you can do that for the rest of your life. And this isn't just to you. This is to anybody out there, settled, non-traveller, traveller, it doesn't matter. Get up and get at it and do it, and don't be waiting around for permission or funding from somebody else. What you could have done in 3 years is got your act together and started moving on. Or else you could wait around, sit in your laurels, sit in your hands, and give out about it.
As I told you before, all the equipment is there. The only thing that we don't have is a place to do it in.
One of the biggest podcasts in the country was started on the kitchen table in a flat in town. So you do have the space to do it.
Yeah.
If you want to find the excuses, they're there.
No, what I'm saying to you is, it's not me. As I told you, I do it everywhere. The ones that I'm with, they have to be specific. It has to be soundproof like this, and it has to be.
They're talking bollocks. They're absolutely talking bollocks. And they're going to listen to this, and I'm going to let them know, lads, they're talking bollocks. Yeah? And I don't mean the podcast. I mean the other controversial kings are talking bollocks. Where did the name Controversial Kings come from? What's the origin of it? Where did that idea come from? What's it mean?
Well, the Controversial Kings means, like, I know that you're a Traveller podcast, but at the time there was no Traveller podcast. So we are the Controversial Kings, and we're going against everything that you believe in.
Like what?
Like everything.
Give us an example.
We'll just keep disagreeing with you. that was me method.
Just to be awkward fuckers.
Just to be you're talking bullshit there. That's what it was.
There's only one person talking bullshit in here.
No, but that's what it was. That's what it basically was. That's what was the method.
You just wanted to be a pain in the hole, did you?
There was a different fella at the time. Me and a fella called Sam that I was working with in IPS. Yeah, we had that right there. And the logo, I came up with the logo, I made the logo. And then he fucked off too. So he went on his own merry way. Then I ended up with these, and we're trying to we recorded 3 songs. The Taxman, Ode to the Pavy, and that one, Below and Below. We were told, we were advised, we were given a wink to go for the funding, and that we'd get it. Turns out they were talking bullshit.
I'm going to wing at you now and say that's the best lesson you've learned all year.
But see, yeah.
What was the biggest ambition? Was it doing up a podcast, or was it doing the songs? Which is the most?
I wanted to do the podcast, and I wanted to do the songs.
Both of them together, basically.
But before anything, I always loved music.
So was the funding to actually make a record? That's what you're saying?
No, the funding was for it. The funding wasn't actually for me,
right. And
it wasn't actually for anyone that I was going to be working with. It was to pay the travellers specifically to come up
and sing.
For us to rent out a place for them to actually come up, learn the songs. Because all the songs that I read out, I was going to put them all on a table and let them pick one out. Because I already know the sound to them. Let them pick one out and tell them, go for 20 minutes, whichever song you pick, and come back in and let me hear what way you think that song should sound. You could have come back in with the sound better, or it could have been worse. So if I had to be better, I'd go, yeah, I'm going to stick with that. Or if it was worse, I'd tell you, no, I think it should sound this way. Get them to do that for the year or for a couple of months, and then the next batch of funding that you would have getting off it was to probably make 1 or 2 music videos, because we were in with a right professional. His name is Sebastian, and he doesn't live in Ireland. He actually lives abroad. Forget what country he's from. He was going to help us to make the videos, 1 or 2 videos anyway, and make an album with just Traveller singers on it, and try our best to promote it.
So there's a bit in there where you said they wouldn't come up without being paid.
Yeah, because when I say they wouldn't come up from being paid, because some of them is down in Ennis. Ennis is a bit
so
of a
there's travel expenses.
That's basically it, yeah.
Yeah.
Travel expenses up and down, the way they wouldn't have to be out on, because I wouldn't expect them to come up from
so they wouldn't be out pocket themselves, but they wouldn't be doing it for a profit.
The next round of funding, hopefully they would be doing it for a profit. The first round of funding was 25,000. It was called the Next Generation funding.
Music Generation?
The Next Music Generation funding. Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, Music Generation, I think. It's the thing that U2 and a few other people set up.
Funny that it was called the Next Generation funding, and 2 professional artists in Ireland got it, along with... And
the Traveller didn't get it. The Traveller didn't have to wait to the next generation to get it.
I have no God-given right of getting anything, but I was told go for it. That's what I'm saying. That's the only reason why I went for it, because I was told to it.
So I've been doing music, like I ran a record label. For a hip-hop label, we made like 20 albums together and music videos and a film documentary.
Maybe I'll start working with you then.
But what the lesson of it is, we just spent our own time and our own money, and we didn't apply for anything because you'd spend more time applying for funding that you're never going to get.
100%.
There's a little bit of a bittersweet lesson you have to learn. Get up and do it.
Yeah.
If you're waiting around for government or councils or next generation or music generation or whoever to hand out the money to do the thing, and then if you don't get it, you don't do the project, you're not going to do the project anyway.
But that's our plan now.
Get up and get it. Get up and get it would be my advice. It's like when people come to me, the young musicians, I say the best thing you can do is grab a guitar and go out and busk up and down the streets of Dublin morning, noon and night, and don't be waiting around to become famous. Don't be waiting.
I don't want to be famous.
Don't be waiting around for somebody to hand you the golden ticket and give you all the answers. Get out and cut your teeth on the street.
That's one thing that I don't want to be. I don't want to be known and to be famous. Definitely not. I wouldn't want that. I'd rather just let me do my work and let me fade away into the background and let whoever is in the front, yes, you go out there. You can be known. Just leave me in the back here, please.
Yeah, well, you're more interested now is nurturing the talent.
Hopefully.
And is there much talent out there?
Oh, loads of them. Loads of them. They're all the best talented singers of Travellers is all in England. Fucking fantastic singers over there altogether.
And what about the lads here that you want to work with?
There's a few girls and a few young fellas. It's very hard to get girls.
What would be the difficulty?
The girl would probably want to do it, but their mother and father might tell them no. But this is where, if you come down and sing the song, I give you 250 just for coming down, then you'll fly down, that type of. Now, I can't blame the mother and father. I'm not saying it's a bad thing or if it's a good thing. It's just the way they are. Because every father is protective of their daughter.
But you're saying you're sliding 250 quid across the table, the protection falls away then?
No, the mother and father comes with them.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So
see, the father won't come for nothing, but if he knows he's getting 250, he'll come.
So there's a few things that I'm thinking. One is, I've had a conversation with Travellers in Ballymun and with Martin on this podcast, is that, did you ever hear the phrase, you're cutting off your nose to spite your face? You're putting your hand out for payment before you've actually done any work. Yeah?
Yeah.
And it reduces the amount of options and opportunities available to travellers, because I know young fellas here, I said, you want to come and do such and such a project? They'd say, does it pay? And if it doesn't, they won't turn up. And they're missing out on opportunities.
With Travellers, you could put an opportunity outside the door. And this is what I'm saying, willfully blind. They'll turn away from it.
So where's that come from? What's that about?
Judgment. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Travellers are very judgmental. Like if you get a top class, what really kind of, when it comes to singing, what really kind of torments me and pisses me off about the Traveller singers, they always sing the one songs. Now you could get a 17 or 18-year-old girl there and she's singing Tinker's Lullaby that doesn't even suit her. And she's standing there with the microphone and there's no movement out of her. So this is what we wanted to do for the year. The two fellas I'm working with is in music for years, and one of them is a right performer. So he wanted to change them into performers along with working with them how to sing, because he's also a singer,
A voice coach,
and he's also learning how to play the guitar and all that. So he was going to work with them. The other fella was going to work with them with sound and stuff. And I was going to work with them with the songs. This is the way it should sound. This is the way it shouldn't sound, and all that.
Because I've worked with young singers. Initially, somebody turns up and they're talented, and everybody's amazed. Oh my God, it's an amazing voice. But it's not about talent, and that's where we have it wrong a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. If you could put a singer there, he or she could sound amazing. But if they're just standing there, no one is really interested.
Yeah, and if they just think that their voice that they have that's young and sweet and amazing is going to last forever, even if they don't train it, and their career is going to be blow up just because they have a great voice, the talent isn't the thing. They have to turn up, have the right attitude, have the performance, have the willingness to grow and develop and learn and turn up for free. That's how you nurture that talent. It's very, very rare that somebody just rocks up, has the voice, and then the next day they're known all over the world.
But you see,
that's 1 in a billion. Like,
it's very extremely. Martin even knows this himself. It's very hard to get. It's very hard to get a traveller man to do anything in the lines of that. Never mind for a traveller girl or a traveller woman.
when you say traveller singer to me, there's 2 people that come to my mind. One of them's a man, and one of them's a woman. Who are they?
Oh, Elvis Presley.
Jesse Presley. Traveller man, who is it? Singer, best traveller singer ever in the history of travelling music. Pecker Dunn.
Would you believe it or not, Pecker Dunn's son is was going to come down and give us a handout.
And you also have Finbar Fury. And then traveller woman, singer, Irish, Sharon Ward.
Well, do you know that song I sent you, Are You Gonna Leave Me Now? I wrote that last year, and we had a traveller singer for it. She kept trying to change it. She said, this is the song. And she kept going, Adele. She's an amazing singer at Adele. She's an amazing singer herself. But she kept going, Adele. But so you can't see, you've had to change it. She slowed it up, she slowed it down, she sent me different ones. And then she ended up not doing it after all that. It's hard to get them.
What's that song that was recorded you sent me?
Are You Gonna Leave Me Now?
Yeah, who's singing that?
That was me singing that. Basically, that was the day that I brought the song over, and that was the first time we sat down to record it. So that's the first recording of it.
So
that's the last recording of it. We haven't done anything with it since.
do you see the guy, Oliver Anthony, I was telling you about? You need to go and check him out, right? He's the biggest name in music right now, and he recorded the song, one version of it, on his phone. Now, the rumours are he's just been offered a €100 million contract, but you know the way rumours are. But he genuinely sang the song with his own feelings and his own voice, and it reminded me of the song that you played for me the other day. The song that you played, you were saying, it's this and it's that and it's not that good, and it reminded me of Johnny Cash. You're an amazing singer.
Well, I wrote a song for Johnny Cash, believe it or not.
He doesn't know that though.
No, he doesn't know. Can I go to the title first?
You can, yeah. Let's pause for a second.
Well, basically what I'd done was, so if I was going to write a song that you would think a rock and roll legend or a legend would sing, what would it be? So then I was thinking of, what singer would you sing it for? Say Johnny Cash. Then I was looking at documentaries about Johnny Cash and that. And then he went, I blame it on the times. So I said, I blame it on the times. And I wrote a song called I Blame It on the Times.
Give us a bar of it.
Very good.
What minutes ago? I'd sing it, the first bars of it. It goes, when I was young, I was a dreamer. I grew up to become a believer. Somewhere along the line, oh, something inside me died. I put the blame on the times. That's the way it goes.
That's beautiful. But you were doing it in Johnny Cash's voice.
So I'd reckon Johnny Cash would sing that. Now, whether he would or not, I don't know. But we'll have to ask him when I see him again.
You'll have to take him up like Elvis's brother.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, bollocks, yeah.
You didn't like that one, no?
Oh, you did, yeah, go on. Hit me with your rhythm stick, as you say.
Yeah.
David, are you living in the house at the moment, yeah? In the Villa Park, is it?
Like an open jail. You can come in,
But you mightn't get out.
but you can't get out, like.
Do you sign out? Have you got to sign out?
You know what
No?
I'm saying? You can come in, you can go out, but you can never leave. It's like
Hotel California.
the Hotel California. It's just like an open prison. You're just locked there, and there's nowhere else to go now these days. We're made to live your life, and now when you think of a culture,
What? Yeah,
Right.
you're made to live their life.
yeah,
The countryman's
yeah,
life.
they made it settle, didn't they?
You're forced to settle, basically.
Yeah, culture. Culture is just a word of saying, well, I don't want to live like you. That's all that a
But
culture
for me,
is.
culture is the things that we do.
Well, the only traditions that a traveller has now from years ago, and when you listen to your grandmother and your grandfather, is the storytelling, the singing. There's songs there that my grandmother would sing, and he'd probably even know himself, probably his grandmother and that or grandfather would sing that no one heard of. And then when you asked them, well, who sang that song? My old grandmother used to sing it around the fire. What songs that no one heard of before.
Wouldn't have a clue, that's right.
Yeah. No one heard them. No one recorded them. But these are songs that the Travellers sang. See, the Travellers was the first to do everything. They were the first to travel the road. They were the first in Ireland. You can't check that up because the archives was burned.
By a traveller.
Well, by the government. I said the government knew that we were the first. So if we backtrack, there is a thing there called international law that if we actually did find that we owned at Cork, I can take back Cork. Cork is mine.
I'd say you've gone down some bleeding rabbit holes in your head.
Oh, no, but it is. There is an international law there for that. But the Traveller, or anyone in Ireland, if they got their DNA or whatever done, and it did, you were one of the first, you can't go back through the archives. Because they got burnt there a good long time ago. They knew what they were doing.
Fucking right they did.
Yeah, the bastards.
So if we want to dwell on it, it'll wreck our heads. So my thing is just rock on.
Rock on.
Do you know what I mean? Do your thing, write your songs, do your podcast, be in your community, do good stuff, because you drive yourself demented thinking about all the stuff that people have done wrong on each other.
Oh no, I'm not saying that they're doing wrong on it. I'm just saying they knew what they were doing. There's a difference of doing wrong and knowing what you're doing. That's even worse than doing wrong. When you know you're doing wrong, well, that's worse. But wait till you don't know you're doing wrong, well, then you don't know it, then do you?
You need someone to tell you you're doing wrong.
That's the traveller logic.
It's true, though.
Martin sent me a great voice message earlier on from a settled fella, and he was ripping into Travellers. Yeah. We might play it. We might play it at the start or the end of this podcast. It's funny.
What'd you say?
The reason I brought up the Peckerdone and Sharon Ward is what I like about those people is they get up and do it. Like the Peckerdone basically kept all traditional Irish music alive in Ireland, nearly single-handedly, travelling around and playing songs and learning songs, and just getting up on a stage or in a barn or up on in a pub or in a house and just singing and singing and singing and singing.
I wrote a song to the Peckerdone song, the Portlaoise Prison. I kept the first two lines and I changed it to the Manchester Prison. And the reason why I did it, because I seen a traveller fella singing the Liverpool Prison or the Liverpool Jail. And so I'm not having that. So I'm a Man United fan. So I said, I'm going to do a better one than him. So then I changed it. I kept the first two lines. I had a few drinks in Queen's Ferry.
Give us a sing of it, go on.
I will now in a minute. I want to tell you my story first.
Go on.
But then I changed it around and I kind of sang it to the tune of Red Haired Mary. Kind of that tune. Keep your hands off red-haired Mary, her and I will soon be wed. Well, I kind of sang it to that, but I slowed it down.
You're very creative.
Am I? Probably am. You said that the other day to me that I don't like accepting praise. You can't give praise where praise is not due. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm giving it where it is due.
Yeah, but see, as you said, we didn't do nothing yet. So when I do it,
well, you wrote that song.
Which one?
The one you just read out to be there, yeah.
That was actually my second song to write. The first one that I wrote was The Taxman. And The Taxman is a good song. The Manchester Jail is a good song.
So are you saying to me you haven't done anything to be proud of you?
Not yet. Somewhere down along the line I will get to do it, or will get the chance to do it when some of the other fellas gets a bit of motivation stuck up their arse, because I want to do it now. Like this here.
Well, you're doing it. That's what impressed me about this. You got onto us and you said, I want to come and do this. I want to talk on the podcast and I want to tell people about me music and my ideas. You made it happen. That's why I'm saying about the Pecker and Sharon. They get up and they make it happen. And they don't wait around for nobody. If there's somebody on their team who's not cutting the mustard, they scrap them.
He went up and down the whole of Ireland, didn't he? The Pecker done. Out even in the streets.
Every nook and cranny, street and lane, learning and singing up and down the UK, the whole lot. He's a legend of a man. And a lot of traveller people don't know who the Peckerdone is.
There was a traveller there. Did you see the traveller singing You Never Walk Alone? He was on Facebook here the other day.
Yeah?
Jesus Christ.
Good was it?
Oh, no. fantastic.
There's some serious traveller singers, very good singers.
Yeah.
Again, probably just too shy to come out and sing.
That's the problem.
I think that is the biggest thing anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
And when they get a few drinks,
you won't get them shut up.
You won't get them shut up, but you get some good songs out of them, I guarantee that.
You won't. There's some singers there, you tell them, sing us a song, no. But then when he gets a few drinks down him, sing us a song, well, then you won't get him to shut up.
That's right.
You go away for an hour and you come back in and he still says, you're not still singing, are you? And
You're trying to get him to stop.
It's like someone
please stop.
Someone flashed
it's like
the red
someone's
light.
putting a dime in the jukebox every 2 minutes.
You come back on the third day of the wedding and he's still standing there screaming at himself.
All veins bumping out of the neck.
And where's the shyness or come from?
It's not shyness, it's been judged.
Yeah, I think that's
sorry, it's a shame.
With a traveller, in where a traveller is living, everyone knows you. And if you do something, well, they're coming out, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do the other. Now, I really don't give a shit what they say about me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not them that's doing it. So if it's not them that's doing it, you mind your own business.
And it's also none of your business what they think about you.
And that's what I'm saying.
So would you get much slagging now about what you do?
When I was singing the songs and that, yeah.
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 Or would you get these lads with his sarcastic comments and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You would? You get a lot of that, would you?
You loads of that, yeah.
Crazy,
I don't really give a shit anymore.
If a person was weak enough, it'd nearly make them give up, wouldn't it? Like,
Would, yeah.
be honest about it.
That's why travellers, they keep going on about, travellers keeps going on about the settled people and all that. Yeah, fair enough. They have a right to do that because I know what they're talking about. But half of it is the travellers' fault.
Yeah, themselves.
Travellers are their own biggest downfall.
What do they say? They're their own worst enemies, is that?
So would you be talking about yourself there, Martin? Like, because you're a singer, but you don't sing that much.
In what sense would I be talking about myself?
That people will be ripping into you and discouraging you. And,
no, I don't get that.
Sarcastic comments.
Never. I don't get that. Now, I do have a bit of crack and staggering with fellas in one thing or another, but I don't really get that. But I do know there's lots of it out there.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say people won't talk behind your back or slander you or maybe run you through the gutters. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. And again, I really don't care.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that you don't care.
What you call it? You ever heard the one? It's a matter of an opinion, where your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, and your opinion is none of my business.
Yeah, it doesn't affect me whatsoever.
Yeah, I used to care. I don't give a shit now.
What changed?
When my father died.
Yes. Your daddy died, and your daddy didn't do the thing he was meant to do.
Yeah, but then when he died, I says, right, as I told you, I'm just going to throw myself at everything.
Why?
Whatever opportunities there, I'm just going to keep throwing myself at.
Was it because he done it?
It's because he done it, but he could do it for a year and stop. He could do it for 5 years and stop. But particularly when this thing he was doing was going places, he'd stop. And then he'd go on. Then
maybe like you said earlier on, you don't like the. I know you said different words, but you don't like the limelight. You like taking the back seat. There's lots of people like that.
No, it's not that I don't like taking the limelight. When they said, "What do you want to do with your songs?" I said, "I don't want to sing them." Like even the two fellas, Ger and Andy, I even told them. So I learned how to play the guitar. So I'll sit there. I play the guitar with you, but ye sing them. I do that. Or then I did start singing them.
What changed there that you did start singing them?
Because I sang one. I sang The Taxman. I went to a concert and I sang one and all the travellers start making a laugh. So then when I knew they were making a laugh, so I'm going to keep doing it now.
And you done this at a concert, did you?
I done this at a concert.
Did the travellers go to the concert?
It was it was put up on YouTube. The TTPS, Mental Health for Travellers.
Right.
So I sang it there, The Taxman, and Ode to the Pavy, and then they start going, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you're this and you're that, and who says you can sing?
Basically, you're making a show yourself like in different words, kind of.
Yeah.
What they were coming from.
Basically, that's what they were saying.
Silly.
So then, when they were saying that, I said, right, fair enough, so I'm going to keep doing it now.
So they made you
I'm
stronger.
just going to keep doing it dagger bed. I'm just going to keep doing it to piss ye off. So when I know that I'm pissing ye off, and it's giving ye that much bother, it's not you just doing it.
But eventually...
And if I'm making a show of myself, it's not you just making a show of yourself, it's me. So it shouldn't give ye any bother.
So eventually they run out of jokes.
After that concert that I done, I ripped one of my best songs called The Streets of Atlanta. The Celt pub, the Celt pub that's downtown. Well, me and Ger and Andy was there, and a girl, Andy's friend, her name was Amanda, and she said, write a song about Amanda with the name Amanda in it, because there's not very many of them. Si says, yeah, but Ger says, there you go now, young Davy. There's a challenge for you. But sure, the next day, I forgot about it. 2 days after, I forgot about it. And then Ger got on the WhatsApp, I hope you're making progress with that song. And I was like, so what song? Amanda. So yes, I haven't started.
I hadn't.
But I hadn't. So how, in the name of God, am I going to write a song about Amanda? So then, I was going around for about 2 days. So how am I going to write a song about Amanda? How am I going to do it? Picked up the phone, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, I put in shootings in America. And I pressed a shooting in Atlanta. And a 21-year-old black woman came up, and she was shot outside a travel lodge in Atlanta in the head. 21 years of age. So I went to America, so it's a weird country anyway. I went in, and I started making a cup of tea. Whatever way the tea was sounding, when I was twisting the cup, I went, on the streets of Atlanta is where I met Amanda, and I was surprised to see the way Amanda looked at me. So I went, that's my song.
Oh, the shivers are coming up me there.
So I says, that's my song. And I wrote The Streets of Atlanta with Amanda in it. Brought it over to Ger, and Ger then sat down, and then when I was singing it, he sat down and he said, it reminds me of a time when I was in London. So I couldn't say when it's Atlanta.
I wrote it, you shut up.
So and that's how that sounded. Blow, Wind, Blow. The one that you already heard. I asked Tom McDonough for the writer for his film. And kind of the one process again, he told me is about not dyslexic, it's about an artistic travelling gay man. So what?
Looks like he got all the trump cards there, didn't he?
Yeah, so what the fuck? So what do you mean? Say an artistic traveller gay man. So you want me to write a song about that? And he went, yeah, do you want more information? So no, thank you. Right. So that's all
I've just played a black woman in America. Now I can play this autistic traveller.
So I went home, and as I was in the car, me and Tom, I was talking to Tom, and at the one time I was thinking, so how in the name of Buddha am I going to write a song about a gay autistic travelling man? So even me saying that, I sound stupid. But I was focused on getting them words into the song. You should never do that when you're writing it down. And then again, making tea is deadly, or tea. Tea or tea, whichever one you want. Tea. I was out making a cup of tea, and I looked out the back window, and I seen the trees blowing. And I says, blow, wind, blow, tell me what I need to know. And again, I put down the cup, so that's my song. So that's twice I've done. I've read a song over a cup of tea.
Tea is your muse. Tea is your inspiration.
Would you write a song with Win the Lotto and at the same time make a cup of tea?
I read a song. I asked the boys, say, come on and we record it. I read a song about Amber Heard.
I'll help you with a cup of tea. Yeah.
I'll go half on a cup of tea.
Remember the Johnny Cash and Amber Heard court case? Well, I was watching a bit of that because Andy was going on about the Amber Heard case. And so I sat down and I sat down and I looked at it and I wrote a song while I was looking at it. And it would have been a class song if they had to do it. It would have been, because it suited it to a T. Everything they were saying, I put in the song. Have you heard the word about Amber Heard? And this is what Captain Jack said. Amber Heard, she shit on Johnny's bed.
Do you remember the autistic gay traveller one?
Blow and blow. I can't remember that. Because I never sang that. It's on YouTube.
Blow, wind, blow. Tell me what I need to know. Follow me down this lonely road. Let me live again. Time, they say, can heal the heart. When you're standing alone in the dark, passion running through my veins. I see a world full of pain. I don't need money, I don't want fame. I'd gladly give my life to end children's pain. So let me live again. Blow, wind, blow. Time seems to move so slow when you're standing alone in the dark. People's reactions are fast for something they don't really know, and I can't put on a show. They look at me like a piece of dirt for the love I need, like a tourist. Wanna be the first of my time, just left alone to live my life. Blow, wind, blow. Tell me what I need to know. Follow me down this lonely road. Let me live again. Will you let me live again? Let me live again.
I was thinking when you were saying a song about Amanda, I was thinking in my head, I need a man to hug and kiss.
No, well, it turned out to be about Amanda, that she wanted it, but it didn't actually turn out to be a true story. Because I read through the story and then I made the story into the song. Because then it goes, he meets her, he asks her to marry her or marry him, and at the end of it, then she gets shot.
Fuck. In the song?
In the song, yeah. On the streets of Atlanta is where I met Amanda, and I was surprised to see the way Amanda looked at me. She had flowers in her hair with a caring, loving stare and eyes that will set you free. I loved her and she loved me. On the streets of Atlanta is where I kissed Amanda, and I asked her to marry me. She had tears in her eyes, and to my surprise, Amanda said yes to me. We were bigger than the human race. Our love could be seen from space. I loved her and she loved me. On the streets of Atlanta, I said goodbye, Amanda. She was gunned down on the street. She told me our love was destiny, and everything she did for me. It wasn't the way it was meant to be. I loved her and she loved me.
Did you write all that?
Yeah.
Come here, how long have you been doing this?
They asked me how long are you doing writing, and I started it off in school because you get fed up with colouring in. You get fed up of, because I was just put down at the back of the class, like most of the travellers. Gave a page to colour in, and not teach it anything.
In a special corner.
In the special corner. You get fed up of colouring in at some stage, or sketching, or anything like that. So then I just start putting words together.
Isn't it crazy, just a bit he said there about being, say, basically being put back in the back of the class with coloured, and you got sick of colouring in. Isn't it absolutely mental that basically probably 90% of travellers have that same story because that's what they've been through when they're young?
Sure, his daddy was put in the back of the class in RTE.
How can everybody be wrong, and I'm all telling the different story from different parts of the country?
We were put in kind of like a wooden shack. The way I can remember it, it was about 8 or 9 at
Like
the time.
a prefab thing.
Like a prefab thing at the back of the school with just travellers in it.
My God.
There was about 5 of us.
Should I remember I was telling you the story, Dean, about...
Teach not.
Remember I was telling you the story about the school in Blanchardstown there? And this is only back in 2002, where literally there was literally 40 children in one big classroom, all traveller children. And this is not like 2002, we're not going back 100 years here, like.
20 year, Martin.
Simply 20 years, if you look at it that way. Fresh times, you know what I mean? And yet, it was happening then. Definitely not to my knowledge, I didn't understand it.
Right.
But one morning, the kids missed the bus, didn't they? And I dropped them up to the school. And when I went into how you'd say, what class are you and what class are you in? Stupid of me not to know this anyway. But they weren't long in the same school, so there wasn't a great big knowledge. And when I went in, 3 kids, different ages, which was my kids, all in one class with, as I said, about 40 kids altogether, ranging from about, if I'm right, from about 5 years of age up to about something like 11 or 12 years of age.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That kind of age where they'd be nearly leaving, ready to leave that school.
The first day we went there, the headmaster asked my mother, can he wash me and my brother?
Yeah, she's right to grab a stool for him.
That's what you taught the travellers at the time.
Same classroom, the door of this particular class, the children wasn't allowed to use the main door of the school. So they had the door of this classroom. Literally, you're in the playground, aren't you? And you open the door of their class. Another door in the back of that classroom that leads out to the main school, so they weren't allowed to use it. The toilets were actually in the class. So I went straight up to the headmaster and I told him, I said, look, I said, what's going on here? I said to the teacher first to show me where the headmaster is. Went up anyway and sort of had me go with giving out to the headmaster. And he got a bit all red-faced, as you call it. So I gave him strict orders. No pet, no coaxing. I gave him literally 1 week. I picked a different day for each of the 3 children to be in settled classes. So I gave him 1 week. Within less than 1 week, he had the 3 of my kids, they were only young then, 3 of them in settled classes. And within a month, I told him, I said, look, I said, obviously, just like I didn't know here now, I said, all the parents in this class of these children does not know that every one of their children at all ages are stuck in this class. I said, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll be nice to you, I'll be fair to you. I'm giving you 1 month, I said, to have every one of them children. Now, I wasn't, taking things over here, but this needs to be done in all settled classes. Within less than a month, the traveller class was completely abolished. And every one of the children were all put into the settled classes, basically. And they started making communion and confirmation. Everything that was done was getting done with the settled, with all the settled children, basically.
There was no more discrimination.
It was an absolute disgrace. And them times, as I said, it's still only fresh times, you know what I mean? We're not going back 100 years here.
Well, when I think back of the schools up until 4th class, now I don't know what year it was, I made me confirmation in about 2000, 2001. And I was 13 or 14, I can't remember what it was. And it was around 99 coming into 2000. I seen a change in the schools. They were actually giving the travellers a bit of attention. You know what I'm saying? And then when I start doing years after, because I always wanted to know the answer to the question, where the fuck did this come from? It was Ireland joined the EU. and they were forced to do it.
We couldn't discriminate against our own people anymore.
They couldn't do it. So it wasn't that they done it with the kindness of their own hearts. They were getting actually forced to do
It's
this.
like other countries in the EU, like Romania. If they want to join, they have to do A, B, C and D. They have to have human rights in place.
It was they were getting forced to do this stuff. Like the obvious stuff. Do you want a clap in the back now? Like a politician wants a clap in the back for doing the obvious stuff.
So once they got in, then they didn't have to do anything then.
They didn't have to do anything. But this is where it comes back. Like the Irish gives out about the English still. The English is gone. It's the Germans now and Brussels that you need to worry about. Because it's them that's fucking you over. And then it's the Irish politician that keeps agreeing with them because they're getting the green in their pocket.
Or we're fucking ourselves over because we're fighting amongst each other.
Back again to willfully blind. They refuse, they know what's happening, but they refuse to face the people that's doing it. They'd rather fight with you or squeal on you. They'd rather fight with him and squeal on him, and they'd rather do the same. Instead of marching down to the Dáil or have a rebellion.
What's the one that Leo had? Welfare cheats cheat us all. Meanwhile, him and his mates are making billions in the background.
Look at Charlie High. If you look back to the history of Charlie High,
The history of Charlie High and Travellers is an interesting one. He was the one who brought in the Itinerancy Act, but there's almost worst of it being happening now because the hundreds of millions that they have for traveller accommodation, should have not spending it.
No, that's right.
they're not spending it. They're not spending it. But then when the funding is spreaded between the travellers and the organisations, still travellers don't get to see it because they keep it.
And I wouldn't mind. I need a new phone, so that's a big problem, isn't it?
No, we don't get to see.
You don't need a haircut anyway.
If you approach them for help, you're told there's no funding, our hands is tied, or if we help you, we have to help them all. So when they say that, I just sit there.
If we help you, we have to help them all.
Yeah, what are you?
That's the idea. Help them all because they need help.
What's wrong? What's the problem with helping them all?
What are they actually there for? Like them traveller, I can't understand.
There's a few things I had in my head. Isn't it no wonder that there's shame and shyness if you were kept in a corner, in the special corner in the school? Do you know what I mean? And it's one of the things that we can break from the psyche of the traveller. In doing podcasts like this, in you writing your songs, we can encourage people to stand up and help themselves and don't be waiting around for anybody to give them a handout, because you will be waiting. What I've learned in this community in the last 50 years is you will be waiting until you get up and grab it yourself.
100%.
I want to finish on this because you brought up Buddha, but there's another guy that, you know, I take a lot of inspiration from, and I talked to Martin about him before, and he said, and this reminds me of you, first they ignore you, and I'm talking about your own people here now. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight with you, and then you win.
You win by not giving up.
The taxman is sort of like that. The taxman goes, my grandfather was a travelling man. He was bold, he was wild, he was free. My grandfather used to love this land, though just as much as ye. Then one day the taxman said, you can no longer be free. If you want to live in this land, you have to live like me. Get yourself a steady job and pay your taxes to me, for you can no longer travel, for you can no longer be free. Just like the native Indian, he was bold, he was wild, he was free, and he poisoned his existence with his dirty deeds. We'll put you on a halting site on the edge of town, so nobody can see you and no one will know you're around. You have to pay me rent every bloody week, and if you do not pay to me, we'll put you on the street. For you can no longer travel, for you can no longer be free. Just like the native Indian, he was bold, he was wild, he was free, and he poisoned his existence with his dirty deeds.
Very good.
That's a good one, isn't it?
Oh, Davy, I think I'm in love with you.
I wrote that listening to one of the Highwayman songs.
I'm so happy I called you, that I picked up the phone, that I rang you, that we had a chat, that we got you into this room, because you're a stunning piece of work, bro.
I am, I'm not, y'all.
He's married, Dean.
Yeah, bro.
Dean, calm down there. He's married and his kids now.
Davey, it was amazing having you on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good man, Davy. Fair play to you.
Episode 46, A Traveller and a Countryman, Davy Jesse Collins.
Yeah, that was me.
But you see, you old poor travelling man, you are alright. Like, you have a gift that no one else, there's not even another race of people in the world have. You can go around and rob everyone and go over to Lourdes or Knock, and all your sins is forgiven. Imagine that now. All your sins is forgiven. Will you be able to bring me along one time and convert me, will you?
I've been thinking lately how we came to be. This love's not working, it's not working out for me. The words you're saying, I've heard them all before. My heart is sinking, I picked it off the floor. Oh, 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 are you gonna leave me now? I've been trying, baby, I've been pulling out my hair. The words I am saying, you don't seem to care. And I'm just wondering, are you gonna leave me now? Oh, 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 are you gonna leave me now? Oh, 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 are you gonna leave me now? Our love is failing, we're not who we used to be. My heart is breaking, and I wanna set you free. You won't be staying, it doesn't matter anyway. I've been trying, baby, but you don't seem to care. And I'm just wondering, are you gonna leave me now? Oh, 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 are you gonna leave me now? Oh, 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 are you gonna leave me now? I'll be okay, I'll be fine on my own. Oh, what I'm saying finally hits home. Be free now, baby, live and let roam. I've been trying lately, but you don't seem to care. And I'm just wondering, are you gonna leave me now? Oh, 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 are you gonna leave me now? Oh, 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 are you gonna leave me now? Are you gonna leave me now? Are you gonna leave me now? Are you gonna leave me now?
Nothing never comes easy. Nothing never comes easy.
So that's us for this episode, Traveller and a Countryman podcast. If you like it, let us know, share it around, and we'll see you on the road.